You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Awake After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Awake After Show.
Woo!
Yeah! Applause!
Yeah! What's up, everybody? AfterBuzzers out there. Welcome to Awake AfterBuzz, Episode 11. Episode 11, Season 1.
Say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend. I'm Lauren Turner. Hello. And this is Sean Overman.
Hey, hey.
We're so glad to be with you here today. You know, Bing is for doing, and we do this, every Thursday, immediately following the Awake episode. So we just watched it, and now we're going to buzz about it with you guys. So, what's up, Sean?
Hey. So do you want to tell everybody where they can follow us at?
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter, Lauren's Love. Love is spelled L-U-V. So tweet with me.
And you can follow me at Sean_Overman. Sean spelled SEAN_OVERMAN. And if you guys are following us and you're checking out our iTunes or our YouTube, on iTunes you can actually go ahead and download our podcasts. And while you're there, why not give us some love? You know, go ahead and rate us, comment, so we know what you guys are thinking and we can talk about your guys' comments and thoughts in our discussions.
Yeah, there's some great comments. So we love reading them on air with you guys.
Absolutely.
We have Ronnie here with us today too.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hello.
Awesome. Say hello to our friend Ronnie.
I'm drawn into Awake. As I say, I always remember my dreams. Sometimes I'm thinking, am I dreaming right now? But no, Awake was good. I think I'm like excited for you guys to get to the end of the episode because it was a re-emergence of some stuff. So
this was definitely my favorite episode yet.
They're even saying that on IMDb. I'll read a couple
on
of
the
those
message boards.
Yeah,
yeah, we want to hear about that.
It was a big show today.
You know, speaking of dreams, my dreams have always been like wonderful. Like I rarely have nightmares, and I feel like ever since watching Awake, maybe I'm just keying into my dreams more, but I've been having some crazy dreams. I woke myself up the other day from talking in my sleep the other night. Like I felt myself talking in my sleep. Like what was I dreaming about? I have no idea.
Wow.
But usually,
probably Britain.
Probably. He's so handsome. Anyway, so we're gonna get back to the show.
Blue eyes of his.
Those icy blue eyes.
Yes.
So this episode starts off, yes, it was the best episode yet, in my opinion. We start off basically in the green world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's at a carnival with Rex and Emma, and Britton's with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's walking around. We see it looks like it's a police carnival, and there's actually some of his fellow coworkers around, like Vega, who's still an officer, and then we got
Bird.
Who's there in a clown outfit, which was very humorous to see.
I thought that was funny.
And then Emma and his kid Rex see a bungee jump, and they encourage him to go jump off of it.
Yeah. And speaking of taking plunges, guys, you know, I have to say this. Sean has like an infection in his mouth. I know it sounds gross. But he was not able to talk this morning. And he is here. He's so dedicated. Such a great fan of Awake and AfterBuzz. I just love it. You're so dedicated. So thank you for coming and being here. That's awesome.
Thank you guys for having me. And that is how dedicated I love Awake so much. I love this show, and I love AfterBuzz TV. I love us discussing it. I can't leave it alone.
And what would we do without our resident expert of everything? So
not everything.
Of everything Awake.
Mostly police stuff.
And the funny thing is, yeah, it's the police aspect. And I was just talking to somebody today about one of the AfterBuzz shows where we were recapping another program, which is a great, huge program. And I was like, yeah, it's a great program. I watched a couple episodes, but I don't really get drawn into things that can't really happen, like the sci-fi and the witches, and I just can't do it's just not for me. And then this, we can't really have in your real life. You can't have a red and a green world. It's just not going to happen.
No.
But yet this, I can go there with this show. I was able to go there with Flash Forward. I actually kind of feel like there's some parallels between Flash Forward from ABC a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, Ronnie likes it gets canceled, but I really like Awake in that way, and this one was definitely a cool episode. Seeing the little guy again is always, sort of a cool deal. So
yeah, like it's the little guy. As soon as in the green world, in that carnival, Britain bumps into a little guy. Immediately, we're like, the little guy is back. Okay, it's the little guy.
Because one of the episodes was called The Little,
yeah,
right?
one of the episodes was called The Little Guy. It wasn't the same little guy.
We never got to see him, actually. This was in the other episode. We never got to see him. This was
Oh
the first
yeah,
time
because
they've
in the other
introduced
episode,
him.
Britain was just looking for the little guy, so we never saw him. So we're revisiting the little guy, and this time we see a little guy.
Right.
So Britain bumps into him. The camera kind of stays on him, so you know, like, okay, this means something.
Someone's
in this episode.
important.
Yeah, he's someone important. And then they go on the bungee jump. Britain is the first to go.
Scared.
Starts to look like he's getting nauseous, right?
Yeah,
And
you could tell from the beginning, like, as soon as Rex and Emma were like, let's do that, Britain was like,
Yeah,
all right.
he looked wheezy about it. And then when he gets up there, they're giving him instructions. The person's telling him how to do it, and he actually just falls off. And he passes out, and he goes unconscious, wakes up, and he's in the red world in Hanna's bed. And then everything seems honky-dory. Oh, okay, I'm in the other world. That was kind of weird, but I'm back. And they make that appointment with Emma, and they're checking out on the ultrasound the baby to see how the baby's doing. Oh, everything's okay. He's going into a case. He goes and he's investigating this guy Petrowski, who killed 2 coworkers at his office. And actually, in the very beginning of the episode, B.D. Wong's character, Dr. Lee, is talking to Britain, and Britain's, describing, hey, like, something happened, something went wrong this time, I can't wake up in the green world, I can't get back to Rex. And
yeah, that's important. Couldn't wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
He woke up in the red world like twice, and then wait a minute.
And it goes back to B.D. Wong's Dr. Lee's office. He leaves the office, goes in his car, checks the rearview mirror, puts it down a little bit, and he sees someone sitting in the back seat.
Who did he see?
A little guy. And we finally
the little guy, the same one from the green world.
Yes, exactly. So this dude, he's even playing with him. It's so funny because he's there, and then he disappears, and we don't know. Okay.
Well, Dr. Lee shows up.
Yeah, Dr. Lee shows up with the iPhone, and he pops back up in the front seat when Lee leaves.
Yeah.
Am I a hallucination, or am I just leaping through the time-space continuum? What's going on with me?
That guy. From the beginning, I'm just like, I'd rather see the penguin. Where's the penguin? Bring him back. This little guy's annoying.
Well, the penguin can't talk.
I know. That's why he wasn't annoying. He's just cute.
Yeah, so he goes back, and Britain, rather, and he goes back. I think he goes, I'm not sure if it goes, I kind of skipped a little bit in my notes, but I'm thinking he goes to kind of, for brevity's sake, he goes back and he starts re-interviewing people at the murder scenes at the office. And he's like, hey, what's going on here? There has to be something to do with the little guy. Did you know anybody, this little dude, kind of looks like this? He's like giving them a description of the little guy.
Right.
And he's expecting them to know who he is.
And of course they don't. They're like, I don't know. And Vega's just like, what?
Yeah, Vega's clearly peeved.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously Britain's walking around everywhere. He's at home, he's at an apartment, he's over at the offices, and he's seeing the little guy everywhere.
The little guy is following him everywhere.
He is, and he's annoying him too.
Yeah. You know what was interesting, which I kept saying I wanted to see, were flashbacks. And we didn't go too far back, but they did give us a flashback of right before the accident happened, when they were in the car, and the same flashback maybe like 4 times throughout this episode. We see them singing and having fun in the car.
Singing Queen.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. And then we see Hannah telling Britain to slow down because they kind of swerve. Ronnie made a point about that. Like, only on a TV show would you almost get into an accident. And
well, I mean, yeah, as you're watching, you're like, oh, they're gonna no,
right, like, no, not yet.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm
foreshadowing.
Yeah, but I thought, what kind of got me going. I liked it because you saw all of them cheerful, and again, we do see times where Rex is not really getting along with Britain, or we have something there we don't really know. It's not a bad thing, but I just thought it was cool to get that flashback as well.
Yeah, it made me like emotional just to see Rex happy.
Well, and it makes me want to see even more flashbacks. Like, where were they coming from? What was the setup to that moment, and then getting hit, which we find out, but that's later. Sorry, jumping way ahead.
Ronnie, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Love the show so much.
Yeah. So when Britton actually passed out, and that's how he witnessed that flashback of his, and his mind must be piecing stuff together and recovering things. He wakes up and he's like, you know what, maybe I should go home, and Vega tells him to get the hell out of there. So he goes back home, and I may be skipping over some stuff here for brevity's sake, but Britton is distracted. He's so distracted by this little guy in the case, and he's disappointed every time he's waking up next to his wife. He wants to wake up in the green world and make sure his son's okay and everything's okay with Rex, you know? So they finally get a break in the case, the Petrowski case, the double murder that they're looking for. And they go to the guy's friend, who's like an internet friend.
Yeah, he met him on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, dude, how often would a guy meet another guy that's on the internet and say, "Hey, dude, sleep over at my house, man. Come on." You know, that's kind of.
Well, he made up a reason why. He said he needed to spend the night because what was it? I don't even remember. But
he said, "And I'm having some stuff down in my house. I need to come over." Kind of weird. So
Sean, whatever. You know, you invite plenty of lady over from the internet.
Hey, that's ladies are different than men. You gotta invite some strange dude over. Anyway, so there in that scene, we actually have the little guy sneezing over and over again, and it gave a clue to Britton, which was pretty interesting.
Well, Vega sneezes. I don't know. That's probably not important.
Yeah,
Vega starts sneezing.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a cat or something?
Yeah.
And then the little guy, I think at first he's sneezing to annoy Britton.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to have to sneeze now because we're talking about sneezing. I'll hold it together.
I thought that was like yawning. But so then the little guy starts sneezing. I'm thinking it's to annoy Britton or whatever.
I thought that too at first.
But really, he's giving him a clue.
Yeah. It's like, warmer, 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 you're almost there. And they find out that there was something missing. There was foreclosure properties or whatever.
Paper, yeah.
And that actually was really good because it led them to let's go look at that list. You know, what were the properties that you were had for foreclosure? They break into one of them and they see that Petrowski's there.
He's there.
And Vega put some moves on that guy, man.
That was cool.
And he even said, "Yeah, it's MMA stuff."
He knocked his head up against the wall.
He is really showing off a lot. You know, he's making a big bust in last episode. He's kicking butt here with Petrowski.
Go Vega.
Yeah, and an interesting little fact: when they were before Britton and Vega were going in with the other officers, they were wearing this is cop stuff. So they were wearing LAPD jackets, right? I noticed on the jackets that they had a T on it. Okay, now most people would say like, well, what did you say when we were watching it?
Well, you noticed it, and I was like, oh, a T, is that medic? Does that mean a medic or something?
It looks
like we watched it and we didn't even catch it.
Yeah,
And Sean's like, wait a minute, this means something.
Yeah. So it looks like a medical symbol, you know, like the.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, like a medical cross, but it actually means traffic enforcement officer.
So they had on the wrong jacket.
So I don't know, you know, I thought it was kind of funny that they had that on, but at the same time, maybe that was the closest unit, and they were like, hey, give us some jackets. You got some jackets that we can wear? And then they just wore them, you know.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they could have done that, but it was just pretty interesting to see that.
I don't even think cops would notice that.
I'm sure there's some people on iTunes who also caught that, you know.
That's so cool that you catch those like plot hole type.
Yeah,
of things.
he pays attention to it. Just again, a big thank you and a shout out to the iTunes people because they write a lot of good stuff, and it's like a community. Like I said, the IMDb page, they are also writing just how cool the show is, and there's all these theories or whatever. Real quick, just because you do love our iTunes podcast and our YouTube page, where you could see the outstandingly good-looking group here, you know, in the studio, Sean and Lauren.
Too kind. You're too kind.
The point is, though, I do want to say, like, you love the studio, you love the AfterBuzz thing that we got. Do us a favor back and kind of hook us up. And when I say hook us up, you're online so much, you know, cool, do your thing. But go to our AfterBuzz website and continue to shop online like you would have done anyways, but do it through the Amazon banner just by clicking the banner on the top of the AfterBuzz website. You will give us a little bit of a Amazon affiliate program, and that means a little bit of cash.
Yes.
So that's good.
You know what I did? I got my mother a Mother's Day present by using the Amazon link on AfterBuzzTV.com. Can't say what it is because she may be watching right now. But love you, Mom.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, Mom. So yeah, that's what I did. That was my contribution to AfterBuzz TV today.
So speaking of mothers, back to the Red World. Hannah's at home waiting with Emma, and Britton actually gets kicked out of the interrogation that they have with Petrovsky. So he goes back home. He's taking care of Hannah, talking to them, saying,
Why
"Oh
does he
man."
get kicked out then?
He got kicked out because
he passed out, didn't he?
No, this was actually when he was kind of tainting the interrogation a little bit, saying, "Did you see this little guy?"
Oh yeah, the little guy.
And Vega was like, "Hey man, like, can I talk to you?" And he goes, "Hey, you're going to compromise the whole investigation and the case because you're going to infer that there's someone else there. The DA's going to throw this out. The public defender's going to have a field day, all that." So, goes back home with his wife. And he goes up to bed. He says, "Hey, I need to go to sleep. I'll probably feel better in the morning." Wakes up and he starts freaking out. This is his third day now that he is in the Red World, and he's not going back.
He starts yelling for Rex at this point.
Yeah, yelling for Rex, and he's freaking out, and we see him having a breakdown.
That breakdown, whoa.
Yeah. And he obviously he goes out and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go check out the father now, Emma's father, and I'm gonna try to I'm going to do something else besides think about Rex. I'm going to try to get things going in the Red World." And he sees the doppelganger, the little guy's actual person in the Red World. And he's like, hey, I'm over there. He's pointing him out to himself and Britton. So he starts running off after him, and
he basically runs in the middle of traffic and causes an accident chasing after the guy.
And we find out the guy's name eventually, and he's actually a cop.
And not only a cop.
Yeah.
He is Bird's
partner. Yeah.
Because remember, in the Red World, Bird is not his partner. Vega is.
Bird with the mustache in this world.
Bird has a mustache. Yeah, he has a mustache.
And a nice touch on the writer's part.
On that. It's just a completely. If you didn't know.
We notice everything.
This is the Red World. Now you know.
We're still, and obviously,
Bird has a mustache.
Yeah, obviously, and a lot of this episode took place in the Red World because it couldn't wake up in the Green World anymore.
Exactly.
So
I liked seeing the, like, what do you say, like the crashing and burning, or the, I don't know, because it's not crashing and burning if you lose somebody. But his wife Hannah, she's always had to deal with losing Rex.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys if that struck you as much, but I really enjoyed seeing Britton possibly have to deal with this reality. Of course, that now he's not going to get to go back to the Green World. So if you don't get to go back to the Green World, well, darn it, you now have to realize you've lost your son.
Right.
And we have not got to see that yet. That was so good to see. But I also got to say, struggling with the episode, it did seem like, okay, you knew that he was going to snap out of it at some point. Or did you guys not? I mean, did we not?
I did have a feeling, obviously, that eventually he would snap out of it. But it was nice to finally see him show emotion.
That emotion that Hannah's had to show.
This was the first time we saw him cry this much, and he was really broken up.
And he had to depend on Hannah, in that case. And she's like, you've been so strong for me, and it's like,
No, I did like that because Hannah, now she was like the, she was now nurturing. Not that she wasn't before, but even in a different light. So I thought that was cool, and that's really where I think Awake is killing, in a good way.
Backtracking to that foot chase a little bit, just for a second, I actually noticed that street looked really familiar to me, and I believe it was in downtown Monrovia, Old Town Monrovia, which is a little bit east here in LA. And when he meets up with Hawkins, who we find out is the little guy's name, he's a cop, by the way. Yeah, I think we mentioned that earlier. He said, "Oh, I saw you on. Did you see me on Beverly? Yeah, I was on Beverly."
Oh, I caught that too. Yeah.
It was funny because he said that because obviously
Beverly. In Monrovia.
Yeah, Beverly is about 30 miles away from Monrovia, so it's pretty funny.
Is that okay? Like when you notice that kind of stuff, does it ruin it for you? Like when you kind of realize, like, oh, that's
it doesn't ruin it for me. It just makes me feel like, okay, I'm cool because I've lived here in LA enough where I can notice that stuff. I can say like, oh man, I feel cool because I spotted that.
Now I'm jealous. Oh well. But then also when he meets he goes to see Bird, basically Britton does, and then he does meet the partner, which is Hawkins. And he's like, wait, I feel like I know you, saw you on Beverly. And he's like, I know you. And then Hawkins goes, you don't remember? And then it's because Hawkins was at the scene of the crime during the after the accident, and he was one of the first people to try and save after
Britton's car crash.
Yeah, right after that.
So that was interesting.
Sure, he was.
Yeah, that was so interesting that I said that because honestly, for a second, just a split second, I know he's obviously the bad guy that we've been talking about this whole season, but for that split second, I think to myself, oh man, he seems like a good guy.
That's all because I even was like, he's gonna say he tried to save them, and then he said it.
And Britton had it all wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but that was just really interesting. And then he goes back to more of the flashbacks, and he didn't remember until now. Britton didn't remember until now that he jerked the wheel too hard, and then he wasn't slowing down as per his wife's recommendations.
Yeah.
And that's what he thought led to the accident. And his captain lets him go on suspension, and he feels like totally everything's his fault. He's like, I killed my son. It's my fault. It's my fault.
And that breakdown was, I'm sorry, like I
was amazing.
Crying. It was amazing. Like that was it. That was the culmination of why, of everything that I've been waiting for in this show is like I've been waiting for that moment, and so it was amazing.
And then we reach the climax of the whole episode, and we see another flashback, and he realizes, whoa, it wasn't me. It was a big car in the back driven by a little guy.
I love that freeze frame when they're like,
Yeah.
when he's like turning and then he sees the guy coming behind him and it's the little guy.
Yeah.
It was like, reminded me of like, remember Matlock and all those shows?
Yeah.
Like Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
For some reason that flash frame reminded me of that. Like I have no idea why. Anyway, but yeah, we find out that the little guy was in the car. Hawkins.
He was the driver.
He was the driver. Now, is that real, or do you think this is just another one of Britton's hunches or hallucinations or coming up with this in his head?
I think it's real because obviously before in the Red World we had Carl the benchman sitting down with Captain Harper, and Harper brought it up. Hey, was that guy used to do the job a little guy? This was in episode 2, and he was like, yeah, kind of, I guess.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
So that's proof that it actually did occur.
It did occur.
Because it was a hit. It was a hit on Britton and his family to stop him from getting too close.
There was no hallucination in the sense that it could have been somebody else, and he just saw the little guy.
That's what I was thinking.
Because the clip was kind of weird too, and I just wasn't sure.
Well, we could have.
I mean, I guess anything could happen on the show.
Yeah, exactly. We could never really know.
That's what we love about it.
I definitely want to go to the boards and stuff. People are talking. DD01 writes, tonight's episode was an amazing hour of television. I have really enjoyed this show so far, but tonight it went to the next level for me. The mystery and the raw emotions tonight were awesome.
Yes.
Jason Isaac's performance was nothing short of stunning. I hope they could keep this momentum going. Obviously, we know Awake is sort of like in trouble, or I'm not really sure the last word on it, but at least people are riling up behind it.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like that, and we're in just a little bit. We're going to take a taped commercial break. After that, we're going to talk about news and gossip and stuff. We'll have our predictions and everything. And we'll talk about the doctor's advice and stuff. And
yeah, we'll talk about all that right after this break.
Hey everybody, John Comerford here. I've got my Mad Men with me.
Kevin Undergaro.
Phil Svitek. For all you fans of Mad Men, we're your AfterBuzz TV hosts of Mad Men. Every Sunday right after the show, 9:30, we're breaking down the episode.
You can also check us out on iTunes and YouTube the following morning.
We're going to get into the imagery, the symbolism, the structure. We give you all the information on Mad Men that the other podcasts out there don't.
Very insightful. You're going to love it. Check us out.
Please.
Hello, everybody. We are the LA Complex crew, and we are here with Andre Fuller from the LA Complex, who plays Caldrick King. And you can catch LA Complex every Tuesday night on the CW at 9 o'clock. After that, come to our AfterBuzz TV show, where we do a recap of the LA Complex. We talk about Raquel, we talk about sex tapes, we talk about, relationships, and you can catch us live at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, AfterBuzzTV.com. If you can't catch us live, go ahead and swing over to YouTube the next day. You can rate, you can comment, watch us. iTunes, same thing, download, rate, comment, and we would love to hear your feedback, and we love to support guys, so please, please, please support us and support the LA Complex. Buzz you later.
Guys, this is the AfterBuzz TV crew for The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Woo! Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. to see
Adrienne Barrow,
Deanna Vaughn,
Susan Hahn,
Giselle Ugardi.
Buzz you later!
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
And we are back. Thanks for buzzing with us here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Lauren Turner. This is Sean Overman. And we just talked about the whole episode. Was there a highlight of the episode that that stood out the most to you? Obviously, for me, it was his breakdown. But Britton's
I enjoyed the whole Hawkins hallucination thing, the little guy hallucination. I thought it was great to replace him instead of a penguin or an animal, because that made it so much more like, hey, he could do more. He could tell him stuff. He could communicate with him, as opposed to the animal gesturing, moving his beak, like, right?
Hawkins, the penguin.
Hawkins was sneezing. It was so much better.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess you're right. The little guy kind of creeps me out a little bit. So we saw the doctors in this episode a little bit, but we know at the end, Britton calls Dr. Evans to explain everything that happened. What was your take on the doctors in this episode?
Well, there wasn't too much with the doctors, like, in the last few episodes we haven't had that much with them. It was interesting how Dr. Lee, there was a lot more of him in this one, and it started with, hey man, this is progress. You falling, there's a positive sign right there. Falling is a common form of transitioning from a dream to reality. And he was so excited for Britton, but it seemed like he was more than he should be. Should a therapist really be that excited for his patient?
We've already known that. I feel like Dr. Lee is so one-sided with this situation. Yeah. It's almost like, obviously, he's in on the conspiracy, too. Maybe. Because he's always trying to convince him. Like, it's,
So I didn't even think of that. You're saying what's his name? Dr. Lee?
I think he's a part of the whole.
Could be into it?
Yeah.
How could he be? Well,
he's hired by the
detective, the lady, his boss.
So
but he is not working directly.
Not
for the
directly.
Police. He's like contracted by the police department. So, he could be contracted by Carl.
Anything can happen in this case. I mean, in this show.
It could.
You were gonna say in this world?
In this world.
Yeah. But which world?
I know, right?
But obviously we didn't get that much from Dr. Evans' character because Britton was just talking to her. Did I miss something? Did Dr. Evans say anything interesting at the end? I don't think she really did. Did she?
No, I thought it was nice that he. I guess whenever someone goes to therapy, the beginning is awkward. The beginning is awkward. You're with a therapist and you don't really want to tell them all of your business, but that's kind of what they're there for. But it's still, you don't trust them. But I thought it was interesting that now, 11 episodes in, the first person he calls and the only person that understands is Dr. Evans. And he tells her, I trust you. You're the only person I can trust. So I thought that was interesting. But she didn't say anything, but she was, she's there for him. She's like, meet me in 30 minutes or whatever. So
yeah. So overall, only a few things happened overall. Obviously, Petrosky, the killer who was caught in the Red World, he mirrors Britton and Britton's thoughts, right? Because he's like, hey, all this stuff's going on in my mind. I can't control my thoughts. I killed that guy, but it's kind of like I wasn't really doing it, and I just drove around for a while, Yeah.
What is that? Is it just schizophrenia? Like when, you hear people say voices told me to do this, and I didn't even realize that was
paranoid schizophrenia. Yeah. So, and another big thing was Britton, obviously, he had to come to peace with what was going on, because he couldn't see his son, and it was like he was really accepting his son being dead. Yeah. So it was pretty powerful, painful for Britton's character as well as for the audience as well, I'm sure.
But then when he got the son back, that was like,
that
was just weird to watch. I don't even know what my emotion was.
I know. And then it's like interesting because we didn't know at the time, like, it's so weird.
Yeah. And how much did he miss?
Right. In this case, we see that really only maybe 10, 20 minutes went by because he was still at the carnival when he woke up in the green world. He went days in the red world. And he woke up and it's like 5 minutes later.
That's right. Kristen, or was it?
Yeah, I think it was
Anna. Maybe like one of our other co-hosts. They brought that up before. Like there's what's the time space thing? What's the differential? Like when he's in one world, is it exactly the same? Does it overlap a little bit? Is it extended in the other one? Whatever. And here, obviously, it can be extended. So that was pretty interesting how that happened.
Yep, so he's back in the green
world. And
world.
of course we miss our Kristen and Anna,
Yes, we do miss them.
We do.
They're great insight because they are wonderful.
They do. They got some great insights. So let's go ahead and move over to news and gossip.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Do you have any news today, Sean?
I got a little bit of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so I was checking out Leonard Chang, who's tweeted at us before, and he's the writer one of the writers on the show. And his blog, it looks like a blog. It's on Tumblr, and it's leonardchang.tumblr.com. And I was looking at the characters that are in tonight's show and what's going on, and the guest star who played Hawkins, the little guy, is Kevin Weisman. That's his name, and he's been in a bunch of shows, which is pretty cool.
Familiar, yeah.
He's been in a lot of TV shows, and namely, he was in Alias, that show with Jennifer Garner.
I remember that show.
Yeah. So that was a while ago.
He was like
character. He was a supporting character. He was like a hacker type guy, you know. Very interesting, and he's been on some movies too. I think he was in Gone in 60 Seconds. I was perusing his IMDb stuff a little bit, and it's just I think he was a good addition to the cast tonight.
Yeah, he definitely was a great addition to the cast.
And also, I was checking out another blog, and let's see, Kyle Killen was interviewed, and he said that Britain will be in a bind on the finale. Okay, so he's not saying exactly what, he's being vague, but he's saying that things are going to be getting crazy. Britain is going to start finding out the truth about what's going on in both of his worlds. But obviously he's still having trouble figuring it out, and it's going to be really exciting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of episodes, because that's all we got left.
I can't wait.
There's another theory. There's so many theories online. This is like the greatest thing ever. I mean, you could really get lost in it. That's why we appreciate everyone on iTunes taking the time to listen to us, because there's just so much going on, and we just watched the episode. So Red and Green, Day and Night. Wacky Woo. I don't know if I should listen to somebody named Wacky Woo. We love you, Wacky. But listen, could it be that his eyes can still see sunlight? And if he is in a coma, his thoughts adjust accordingly. I don't want him to be in a coma, which we don't either. To me, the most important aspect is his son, because the relationship needs to develop. So I think the relationship with the son thing does maybe strike a chord to a lot of people, because I want to know why they were laughing. I want to know why. I mean, that's fine. It's not like you have issues with somebody you can't laugh, but I just want to know what it was, or there's just so much more to kind of go off of.
So much more.
Yeah, absolutely.
We only have 2 episodes.
That's why we need another season of Awake.
Yeah, how's that looking?
Actually, I was checking out, segue into my tweeting, my tweetosphere stuff. Kyle Killen, the writer and creator of the show, he actually was tweeting today, and a lot of people were tweeting at him, and he was answering a lot of questions. Someone asked him, what's going on with the second season. He's like, oh man, there's so much stuff going on. Just enjoy tonight's episode. With everybody tweeting at me to ask about, is there another season coming up? Just enjoy tonight's episode. Enjoy the collection.
I like this guy. Who is this again? The creator?
Yeah, this is the creator, Kyle Killen.
I like the creator because here's the thing: if it doesn't get a second season, okay, it is a tragedy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
However, they're gonna run it till the end, so we'll get the end of that aspect of it. I would say when Flash Forward was around, I always refer to Flash Forward. ABC loved that show. They didn't get a second season either, but man, the first season, that last finale, and you were hoping it would come back. It didn't come back, but it tied it up, gave you a lot of questions, and I used to call it the best movie that should have been a movie instead of a TV show. So if we don't get a second season, that's fine, but we're on this journey and we like it. So we have how many more episodes here?
2 episodes.
2 more episodes.
Okay, cool.
And the last thing that I saw that Kyle Killen tweeted, he's Killen, Killen 8 on Twitter, by the way. In the finale,
our AfterBuzzers should tweet him.
Yeah, they should.
Tell him we are watching.
Someone tweeted at him and they asked, "I have to ask, will the Penguin be back?" And Killen replied, "In the finale, he's just a little weirder than last time."
Oh, yay! The Penguin is back. I'm excited. I want to see the Penguin.
Did you have any news, Lauren?
Quickly, Dylan Minnette, the guy who plays Rex, is actually, we talked about his band, The Fever. I think.
You did say that.
They have
this week.
On Friday, tomorrow, they will be performing at Whiskey A Go Go. So congratulations to him. And then, Cherry Jones, who plays Dr. Evans. I like to talk a little bit about every actor on the show.
We like to hear it.
Yeah, and so I personally remember her, obviously, from 24. She was the President Taylor, on 24, which is one of my favorite shows. That lady played the president? Ever. Yes,
I didn't watch 24.
She won an Emmy for that, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, for playing it. I think it was 2 seasons that she played President Taylor. So.
And she was there after President Baker, right?
Palmer.
I'm sorry.
Palmer.
Got the name wrong.
She was after.
I'm not a big 24 fan like you are, I guess.
24 fan. So that was good. And then, so of course, when we saw Awake for the first episode, it's like, that's President Taylor. I think Anna and I both were like, oh, they're so excited. And then Cherry, obviously, her name's Cherry Jones. She's obviously been in the industry for a very long time. Very successful.
Are you saying that because she's old? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's because she's old. No, it's actually
matured,
because
seasoned.
She's an Emmy Award winner. She's a Tony Award winner. She's a Broadway star. She's amazing. She actually admits to hating the audition process, and she thinks that she's the worst auditioner ever. But you know, it doesn't even matter because she's obviously getting shows, so it doesn't really matter. But she really says that she's horrible at that. And also, she's kind of a groundbreaker. In 1995, when she won a Tony, her acceptance speech, she thanked her partner, her girlfriend at the time, and that was a big deal. That was like one of the first times that a lesbian or someone came out and thanked their partner in their acceptance speech at a Tony Award.
When she won a Tony Award. Oh, word up.
And
that was
in
years ago.
1995.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously she's a proud woman. She's an ambitious woman. She's
doing her thing.
An amazing woman. I love you, Cherry Jones.
Go
You're
Cherry
awesome.
Jones.
But yeah, so that's all I have about Cherry.
All right. Shall we do some predictions?
Let's jump into that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict she's going to be the therapist, and she's going to start running for president, and she's going to be president in this show, too. I'm just making bad jokes.
I predict, gosh, you know, I still think that Britton might be in a coma, actually. I still kind of, something's going on. But obviously, we do know that it's a conspiracy, but maybe there's some type of drug in him that has him, I don't know. I just think that there's some type of coma, and both of his, you know, loved ones are still alive. And
let's hope so.
And
can I just hope that? Can I just?
Yeah.
No, everybody's alive.
Oh, you no.
Well,
what?
I would say maybe if they're both alive, then Britain's not alive.
No, he's alive too.
Oh, you just want everything to be perfect.
Yes. Follow me on Twitter, Lauren's Love.
Got it.
I want love.
I say that he's going to have another breakdown, but it's not going to be if he's trapped in one world or the other.
Love the breakdowns.
I love the breakdowns too, and that's why I like seeing, especially the hallucinations and stuff, and more dreams type stuff. That's what I like. I think Carl, the Benchman, the supervillain of the series, is going to be retasking everyone to get Britain. He's going to have the captain. And
we kind of see that.
The little guy on his case.
In
obviously in the teaser.
Next episode,
in the teaser we see that. So he's going to be retasking everybody to get Britain. Britain's going to be running for his life because he's a wanted man. He's suspended.
Maybe he'll go away to Oregon. They'll hide in Oregon.
Interesting. But honestly, I don't see them going to Oregon anymore. I see them staying in L.A. There's no way after everything that's happened that he's going anywhere.
I know. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Where can we follow you on Twitter, Mr. Overman?
At Sean_Overman. You can check out my blog too, where I talk about the best movies to watch on Netflix, Redbox, Voodoo, all that. SeanOverman.org.
Voodoo too. And you can find me on Twitter, Lauren's Love, LUV. And yeah, that's it. I don't have a blog just yet. But follow me on Twitter and follow Ronnie Jr. Media.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on AfterBuzz TV Awake.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz, see you later.
Later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.